is the Skyhawks Coaches Corner on the local news network, brought to you by Skyhawk Casino and TBK Bank. We are back for episode 2, and we welcome in the Skyhawks coaching staff, head coach Johnny Cox, defensive coordinator Spencer Brown, and a linebacker sophomore Christopher Ponce. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having us.
Perhaps a sign of the season that things are getting cooler. We are moving in. As you know from last episode, we are here at the Prospector at Glacier Club. Coach, you said it during fall camp. You said it during our first show. Improvement was the name of the game. 2 games in, I think we're seeing it number 1 overall, but also week 1 to week 2. What are your feelings on improvement?
Yeah, I mean, we're a young team, so whenever you start to know your assignments better, whenever you start to get that game experience, you know, you're going to improve. You know, we got hardworking kids that are passionate about football, and so it's a long process. I wish it was instant, but we're getting better each week.
The process is so much about football, especially at this level, right? What is included in that? What maybe, if you could take people into that process, what would you tell them?
Well, you got to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it affects the rest of the team. But then you gotta be able to know that in game experience. So the experience is the only part that we can't necessarily replicate during practice, even though we try to. But being out there, you know, under the lights, I guess you'd say, and being able to, you know, that process, it just takes time, you know, and you do stuff right and you do stuff wrong and you get corrected, and then you grow during that. And so there's no substitute for it. You can't play it on a video game. Your parents can't tell you a different way to do stuff. You know, it's nothing you can do besides go through it, play college football, and get better at it during the process. So that's it.
And now the Skyhawks get to come home, which I would assume and hope is going to be an advantage.
Oh, so excited about that. Told the team, I mean, our first game was in Kansas City, and that's 16 hours. Then we were in Phoenix, and that's a 8-hour trip. So to be able to come home and be in front of our home fans is going to be so much better than what we've had the first 2 weeks. So we're excited about that.
And I will say, we did a charity golf tournament the day you hit the road. I said to you afterwards, I bet you're not going to have any problem sleeping on the bus. Did you have any problem sleeping on the bus?
No. I'm a bus sleeper. I'm an expert at that. So yeah, I was rested. It's just still just a long task, you know, for the whole team.
Yeah.
So
before we get into the Fort Lewis Skyhawks future, let's check our community calendar, our scoreboard for local teams. We'll check in on the Durango High School Demons, who are now 2-1, kind of finding a little bit of a roll after winning 49-14 against PA Dura Vista, and then winning here at home against Aztec 41-7. Coach Burton is sort of shifting that offense from a veer to a spread. It appears it's starting to find a rhythm. 100 points, over 100 points in the last 3 games. Senior quarterback Tyler Harms leading the charge there. They are getting ready for league play, which will start the 6th of October at Summit. Heading down to 2A ball here for a minute. Bayfield High School 0-3. They lost to Moffat County 42-33. They also lost the previous week, another close one, to Aztec 28-22. They're, of course, a young team trying to get some experience. Sticking in 2A, Pagosa Springs lost to Florence 32-35 last week, coming off a 22-6 loss to La Junta. Heading down to New Mexico, looking at 6A ball, the Farmington Scorpions are 3-1 after a 39-0 win, shutout win at Cibola Albuquerque. Michael Beck, wide receiver, 158 yards per game so far this season. And 5A New Mexico ball, Piedra Vista, New Mexico 0-4 after a loss to RA in non-conference 41-19. And Montezuma County High School 1-2 so far this season after a 54-40 win over Kirtland Central in New Mexico. So that's our checkup on local scores here on our community calendar. This is the Skyhawks Coaches Corner. As obviously Fort Lewis College Skyhawks, sort of the focus, we are joined by our coaching staff and guest player as well. Coach Spencer Brown, our defensive coordinator, our guest coach this week. Tell me how it's been sort of molding this defense, getting this team ready for league play.
Yeah, molding the defense has been a lot of fun, honestly. I mean, it started just over a year ago, coming in as a new defensive coordinator over the summer, trying to get our scheme implemented, try to get our standards implemented with the guys. And the team's been awesome. I love the players that we've got. They've all been bought in, having a lot of fun. We coach them hard. We don't play around on the defensive side. We try to be a disciplined unit, and we try to cut it loose and play with our hair on fire. So it's been a really good process. I think it's interesting going from year one last year to year two this year, seeing just how much growth we have, how easy it is to relate. We did this last year, we did that last year, and now the guys are able to click right away and understand what we're trying to put in, whether it's new schemes or similar schemes, new reads, new alignments, all those things.
What is the scheme? What do you guys play?
Yeah, so we're a 4-2-5 defense. We can get multiple with our fronts a little bit. Try to stay pretty quarters heavy on the back end. We've been a little bit more pressure heavy this year, which I think teams would probably recognize if they're watching our film. Try to get guys in the backfield, have a lot of fun with that. We've definitely seen some of the playmakers get back there and force teams into second and long, third and long. So that's been really a little bit of a change from what we were the year before.
Okay. Now, last episode, our guest player was a grad transfer.
Mm-hmm.
This year, Christopher Ponce, or I should say this episode, Christopher Ponce. A little bit more what Coach, maybe I should say in the mold of how Coach Cox wants to build this team. Recruit out of high school, build, get your sort of experience leadership. Tell me about this guy.
Yeah, so Chris has been, he's been here since day one with me. We I guess we started about the same time.
Right.
Just getting this thing going. And he's been a student of the game from the beginning. We joke around. It was definitely some rough days there as you learn the scheme
Sure.
early on. But he just sticks with it, and he asks all the tough questions, which not all freshmen are capable of doing. He was able to start all 10 games last year, the past 2 games this year. So he just continues to be a student of the game. And like I said, he lets me coach him hard. I'm tough on this guy as much as anybody, but he answers the call every time. So really enjoy having him in the room.
What are you guys looking for as coaches? Is it that ability to be coached hard? Is it ability to sort of be multiple? Is it expertise? What do you guys want?
Yeah, first off, you got to be a football player. That's the whole reason that you're on the team. So if you're able to make tackles, if you're able to make plays, that's when you first catch our eye in recruiting. After that, we want to get to know you as a person, find out what your work ethic's like, how much you really love the game. Is it just something you do, or is it something that you really try to live every single day? I'd say Chris is a guy that tries to live it. He changed his body from a freshman body. Would you come in at 180 pounds?
Yeah, like about 180, 185.
Yeah. Got up to, mid 220s last year, maybe a little too heavy almost.
Yeah, a little bit. But
putting on some of the good weight. He was really working at it. But he's a guy that lives it every day, whether it's in the film room, on the field, in the weight room, with his nutrition. So he's our kind of guy all the way.
He also told me that he has moved from outside backer to inside backer. Could you talk a little bit about what you require of an inside backer? It's kind of a captain of the defense in a sense, right?
Yeah, in a sense it is. You got to know what's going on in the run game and in the pass game. You got to understand how it all works together. And I think that's something that Chris has really picked up on, is understanding what we're doing with our fronts, with our stunts, with our pressures, and then understanding where his help is in the coverage, where we're weak, where we really got to protect. So being a full student of the game, knowing what all 11 on offense and defense are doing, has really been part of his strength as he's grown in this defense.
Chris, what brought you here? Why did you want to be a Skyhawk?
Initially, it was just the beautiful culture of Fort Lewis. I was just so amazed by the people and just the sights. And then, I'm here to change things, and I feel like that's what I can do, and that's what I could bring to the table. And yes, sir.
What's your experience in being able to change things? How have things changed from year 1 to year 2 in your perspective?
For sure, like we talked about the scheme, coming from outside linebacker, you're just taught go see ball, hit ball. And now it's just like there's a lot more things built around you, a lot more scheme, and knowing what the D-line's doing in front of you and then what the boys back behind you are doing. And it's just really getting everybody to mesh together,
Yeah. I was up there for, I think, day 2 of fall camp. I mentioned this last episode, and I saw one of your returning players tell a new player how much better the offensive line was this year. Mm-hmm. Is your perspective the team's better this year too?
Oh, 100%. Not even just from a physical and player perspective, just from energy, we're really bringing the energy this year, and a lot of guys can, really back that. And I feel like from last year, just kind of filtering out the old and bringing in the new, we're really getting things going.
What's it like to have to adapt and learn a new scheme? How long do you think that process really takes?
Shoot, me and Coach Brown talked about it, and shoot, after these 4 years, who knows if I'll really truly master it. But just learning from what I learned in high school to now, I definitely think like getting into like a decent basis might take 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But the change is coming quick, and we got to act quick, and that's what I think our guys are doing.
Okay, excellent. Quick recap of how the season has gone so far. You guys talk about that long road trip down to William Jewell College. Was it an interesting environment in the high school stadium?
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
You know, you drive all the way down there to play at a high school stadium. Not exactly the environment that you're looking for, but I mean, we had pretty good fan support there.
Okay.
And yeah, they didn't have necessarily home advantage because they didn't have kind of their same routine
Right.
that they're doing. So, but it was interesting. Yeah.
That game was a loss. We talked about your quarterback, Brady Wingle, 11 for 18 that game, 133 yards. It looks like you got Sam Jones in for some action as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ponce here, 5 tackles, 1.5 tackles for a loss. And then Arizona Christian, just a couple days ago, 25 to 49. I mean, if I'm looking at it on paper, I see improvement. You guys are there on the sidelines. Is that how you evaluate that game? Could you maybe take me through, maybe both of you guys, from an overall perspective and a defensive perspective, how that went?
Well, I mean, last year we lost to them 54 to 14, and was not really pleased that how we played at all. This year, still not victorious, but pleased with our effort, our energy, and parts of our execution. They're a good team. They're in the playoffs last year. They won their conference. They got the conference ring ceremony before the game. So, you know, they're definitely a good team. But you know, they pointed out some things that we need to work on, even though we have grown. Hopefully we can learn from those things and grow again, you know, from that week to this week. So, yeah, they're a really solid football team, but our team was able to really battle. I mean, we going in the fourth quarter, it was 21-13. You know, it was a real football game. And then we just didn't execute on the back end, you know, that finished that fourth quarter like we needed to. So, like I said, we got some growth to do, but we're focused on trying to do that.
Yeah. Coach Brown, the defense?
Yeah,
How the unit play?
We're definitely seeing improvement. I think part of it is, like Coach has mentioned, we're going from a lot of freshmen playing last year to now we've got sophomores on the field, true sophomores playing. A little bit older, a little bit bigger, a little bit more knowledgeable. I think the growth on the defensive side right now is incremental. We're really excited for it to get to exponential as soon as we hit that stride and really understand what we're doing and can really dictate the offenses and say, hey, we're better here, we're better there. I think that's what we're looking forward to. I think we do see improvement. You know, still too many points in my opinion. We've got to have more stops, got to be better on third down, got to win earlier in the game. But like Coach said, in the fourth quarter there, I think it was an 8-point game at one point, maybe a 10-point game at another point. And the belief on the sidelines is there. We got guys who are ready to fight and scrap and do what it takes to win a game. So even the final score might not be as indicative as how close that game was.
You're watching the Skyhawks Coaches Corner on the Local News Network, brought to you by TBK Bank and Skyhawk Casino. We'll be back after the break with a look at what's ahead for these guys. The Skyhawks football team is coming home after starting the season, 2 games on the road. That's what we're talking about here on the Skyhawks Coaches Corner on Local News Network, brought to you by Skyhawk Casino and TBK Bank. We are here recording the show at the Prospector at Glacier Club. You're welcome to come on up and join us. We're here every other Tuesday morning starting at 9 o'clock. You can meet the coaches, grab some breakfast. They are open to the public for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have gluten-free options. It's fine dining, just 15 or 20 minutes north of town. We are joined by Skyhawks head coach Johnny Cox, defensive coordinator Spencer Brown. Excuse me. You got me all riled up after learning that I pronounced linebacker Christopher Ponce's name wrong in the first segment. Chris, I'm doing my research on you last night, and I discovered that you are an Upland Ironman Award winner.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
So it's a tradition that's been going on since 1999 or 1998, just about. And how it is, it's a competition where you have your weight lifts, the bench press, squat, clean, all those good ones, and then you also have your on-field events. So it gives us smaller guys a chance. And so I used to play receiver as well. So I just felt like I had the best of both worlds when it came to speed and power. And we used to, run the mile, do the 40, all those type of things. And you get ranked based off how well you do. And then they add up all those points and basically best man wins. And I was able to do it back to back. No one's ever done it back to back unanimously. And yeah, it's been such a privilege to do such great things.
And that's as a junior and a senior, you went back to back.
Yes, sir.
When you heard from recruiters, was that any sort of element of why they were interested in you at all?
For sure. I mean, presenting myself as a linebacker, they need to know if you're tough, you're strong, and just, it's in the name, Iron Man. So it's pretty easy.
Coach, you said you were ecstatic about being able to come home for the first time. You've had 2 long road trips. It doesn't seem like Arizona's a long way away, but 15 hours followed by 8 hours. You've got New Mexico Highlands University coming into town this Saturday. What does that mean to you to be able to play in front of a home crowd?
Yeah, sometimes on the road, you got to provide your own energy. You'll look out and, the guys on the sideline are the ones that you're celebrating with, and our team did a good job. And I should say at Arizona, we actually had a pretty good following down there too. So, but now we'll be able to come home, and we're hoping that our fans and our students and our community will be out there cheering us on like they have a lot of the times last year. So they'll be able to help provide that energy. And I know that the guys are excited about, showing what they're going to do in front of this home crowd. So
what are you seeing from New Mexico Highlands at this point?
A solid team. I know they're 1-1. They have some veterans that can go out there and play really good football. They run the ball on offense, more of an option base, and then on defense, they're different variances, but kind of a cover 3 look with different ways to kind of get to it. And so there'll be some opportunities for big plays, and then they're going to make some plays too. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth. They feel like as a team that they've been in really 2 close games. So they're kind of seasoned in that way. So we're excited about that opportunity to play against them.
It's a team last year you scored 3 against.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of look at, from what you saw last year from their defense to moving this year, how do you sort of try to move the ball against them a little bit better this time around?
Yeah, you just grow every time and say, well, we tried this and it didn't work, and so let's don't do that again anymore. Let's try something different, and you have the experience of knowing what you can do more, and then you watch more teams play against them and watch that film and try to develop a game plan that you think is going to be best against them. So it's just getting to know yourselves and playing to what our strengths are. And so another year of everybody knowing what we are good at, what we're trying to do, and what a term means should allow us to be more effective. So we're excited about that. We get to play football.
Yeah, so the Skyhawks coming home this Saturday. That one's at Ray Dennison Field. Coach Brown, when you talk about going up against an option defense, that means this guy in the middle of that front 7 is sort of the key, right?
Yeah, we gotta be disciplined for sure, and that's going to be the focus of our practice this week, making sure that our alignment and our eyes are going to be in the right place, stopping that run, really trying to frustrate them. We had a little bit of success against them last year, and give coach a little bit of credit. The offense moved the ball really well. Some of the best defense was a great offense in this game last year. So finding that balance as a team, and then really with the special team success that we were having right now, you can see that we're trending in the right direction. We're growing, and it should be a good matchup on Saturday. We're excited for it.
Chris, when you're facing a read, what are you kind of trying to key off of?
Well, initially it's my running back keys. Like I just got to stay. My keys will take me to all my reads, and just throughout the week, my man right here, he basically gets us right, and basically just make sure that our keys are straight. And if our keys aren't right, then as a whole we're just all in shambles. But I think Coach Brown does a great job at each and every week getting us right and getting our eyes right. Alignment, assignment, and eyes. Yes, sir.
How do you feel about being able to come home and play in front of the home crowd?
Oh, it's amazing. Like I said, Durango is so beautiful, and the people, the community is just so great. And I'm just excited to bring some excitement to this beautiful city.
Awesome. Yeah, the Skyhawks are coming home. The contest against New Mexico Highlands University will be this upcoming Saturday. Then, of course, you guys go out to Adams State University. Another one on the road.
Yep.
What's that one looking like?
Well, we haven't looked ahead to them. Traditionally that was the Musket game, back in the day, and then now I don't think it's the Musket game anymore. But we just got to beat Adams. So that's ingrained as a team that we look forward to playing against. So like I said, we haven't seen too much of them at this point, but we know that there've been some really close games here, and they've been victorious, I think, the first week. So they're going to be up for us, and we're going to be up for them. Yeah. So it's going to be a rivalry. All
right. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So appreciate it.
You've been watching the Skyhawks Coaches Corner Show on the Local News Network.